Hey everyone, my name is David Paquette. I am a product marketing manager with HPE, and I'm very excited to be here today with my esteemed colleague Bob Brown from TierPoint. We're going to be talking to you today about ransomware protection and ransomware recovery, as well as a few other topics, but I'm going to get us started off talking about HPE Zerto software. At HPE, we hear from our customers that their data is under constant threat, and those threats range from the kind of threats that we're going to talk about mostly today, like cyber threats, cyber attacks. The probably the most damaging of which, in terms of data, is ransomware attacks, and those attacks come from a variety of different organizations. They come from all around the world, and they attack pretty much any business in any industry. Now, there are still traditional types of disruptions like natural disasters, hardware failures, user errors that all of our customers have to contend with. And they are dealing with a lot more complexity in their IT environments, particularly in having hybrid cloud or multi-cloud environments where they are across multiple different platforms and multiple different sites and data centers, where they have to protect all of those different platforms and sites simultaneously and try to recover those as necessary when a disruption happens. Now, it's probably no surprise to many of you that the prioritization of cybersecurity has risen to the top of IT spending, and organizations, particularly enterprises, are spending more and more on cybersecurity to protect themselves against cyber attacks, which have been increasingly damaging over the last few years, and they are costing organizations millions of dollars in downtime and data loss. Now, we're going to talk about a couple different aspects of cybersecurity and cyber recovery. I'm going to focus more on cyber recovery with our HPE Zerto software, and then I'm going to hand it over to Bob, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the prevention side, preventing those attacks from happening in the first place. But it's very important to have both of those sides covered in any investment that you're making into cybersecurity. Now, with HPE Zerto software, we focus on continuous availability, and we do that across three different use cases. And those use cases are disaster recovery, more like the traditional disasters or disruptions that we talked about, cyber resilience, being able to protect yourself and recover from those types of cyber attacks, as well as multi-cloud mobility, and that means being able to protect those across multiple different platforms, as well as move your workloads without any downtime. And all of that is built on a platform of continuous data protection. Let's talk about what continuous data protection is. Now, with HPE Zerto software, continuous data protection is a combination of three distinct technologies. The first of which is near synchronous replication. Now, that near synchronous replication is the ability to capture changes as they're happening to blocks of data on a workload and then replicate those in real time across to the destination. The destination could be the cloud, it could be another site. Pretty much anywhere with a network connection, you can send that data. We're going to be doing that in real time as those blocks are changing. What that gives you the ability to do is to have the data updated as quickly as possible in your DR site, so that if there is a disruption, you can rewind the data in a matter of seconds to a few seconds before a disruption happened. Now, the second technology that is in the continuous data protection for HPE Zerto is the journal, the recovery journal. And this is where we make a recovery checkpoint every few seconds that spans across multiple virtual machines that you're protecting as a group. And those recovery checkpoints are going to be tagged and available for you to recover from, and they're going to be just a few seconds apart. So when a disaster does hit, you can recover to just a few seconds before the attack, where you can go back further if you need to, in order to get to the known good point of data that you want to recover from. And that's just going to depend on what the nature of the disruption was. For example, in a cyber attack, you may need to go back further to find that clean checkpoint before the actual cyber attack started. Attacking, maybe encrypting data, maybe deleting data, etc. So once you identify that point in time, you can go back and recover to that point in time. And with Zerto, you can even recover over and over again until you find that correct point in time to make sure you have the clean data. Now, lastly, we have the ability to synchronize the replication across multiple different virtual machines within what we call a virtual protection group. And that just means that if you have an application that is spread across multiple virtual machines, any type of service. We're going to coordinate those recovery checkpoints so that all of those virtual machines are going to be recovering to the same point in time. And that's going to make sure that that data is consistent across all of those virtual machines at that point in time for recovery. Okay, now that we have established what continuous data protection is and how that is applied to HP Zerto, we're going to talk about how that is the basis for our cyber resilience. And that's basically built into 3 pillars that we like to talk about with cyber resilience: replicate and detect, isolate and lock, and test and recover. And I'm going to get into those in a little more detail. So I talked about the real-time replication, and that of course you're going to be using that to protect your data, but Zerto also has the ability to perform real-time detection of encryption. And so when we detect encrypted blocks, we are going to determine whether or not the behavior appears to be anomalous behavior that may indicate a ransomware attack in progress. If we do indicate that it does appear suspicious, we will tag those checkpoints in the recovery journal to indicate that those checkpoints are suspicious and may be compromised, so that you can recover to a checkpoint before the suspicious activity was detected to have a clean recovery point. Okay, so once you have replicated and detected, now it's time to isolate and lock. So what that means with HP Zerto is that you are going to be in real time replicating that data across from production to the DR site. But because that replication is in real time and we're writing to the recovery journal in real time, we cannot make that recovery journal immutable. So what we have to do is we have to make a copy of that recovery journal from a particular point in time and make that copy immutable. And we do that by placing that copy on a environment, storage environment such as Azure Blob Storage or S3 storage, S3 compatible storage, using the object lock to make it immutable. And then when we go to recover, and I'll talk about that in a second, we have the ability to further isolate that for recovery. Okay, the last pillar of cyber resilience is test and recover, and obviously recovery is going to be the goal here, but the ability to test that recovery is super important. HP Zerto software gives you the ability to test non-disruptively. This is just an example of a customer that took their testing from 3.5 days to less than 2 hours using Zerto because of all the automation and the non-disruptive nature of it. But basically what we see is with our customers, especially being able to test ahead of time, they are able to actually perform their recoveries and get an average RTO of just a few minutes. And that is pretty common because of the automation that's built in. And they're able to do that into an isolated network environment. So I mentioned that as a part of the isolate and lock, being able to create an isolated network environment into which you're recovering your data before putting it back into production. You can do that with network segmenting within Zerto, and that is going to be a barrier to the attackers getting access to that data while you are recovering it, making sure that you are getting a clean checkpoint or going in and performing triage on that data, trying to remove any malware that may be there after a cyber attack prior to recovering it back into production. So I touched on this earlier, and this is really that cloud complexity that I talked about. The ability to have multiple sites, multiple clouds, multiple platforms within your environment, and all the complexity that brings in terms of trying to protect and recover all of your workloads, or even migrate workloads between those platforms without downtime, without disruption. And Zerto is available in a number of different ways. TierPoint is going to talk about that a little bit after I'm done here. But Zerto really gives you the ability to support multiple different platforms, whether it's virtualization platforms on premises or various cloud platforms natively, or using VMware in the cloud, also replicating from cloud to cloud, or even within the same cloud between different zones, availability zones or regions within those clouds. So we really have a number of possibilities supporting these complex environments with HP Zerto. All right, that was pretty much it for me today. I'm going to hand it over to Bob. But first, I just wanted to give you a link here, hp.com/Zerto. You can find out more about Zerto firsthand. You can experience it for yourself, and you can even look at various customer reviews and use cases, etc., of those who have used Zerto. But again, that's all for me, and we will see you in the Q&A at the end.
Thanks, David. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I appreciate you taking some time out to join us. As David said, my name is Bob Brown, and I am a lead solutions engineer with TierPoint, focusing on disaster recovery and backup solutions. I'm going to take just a minute and give a real quick overview of TierPoint for anybody who might not be familiar with us. TierPoint operates over 40 data centers across the United States. All of these are interconnected with fiber offering speeds of up to 100 gigabits per second, and all of our data centers can also offer connectivity to the hyperscale cloud providers with a very low latency. As you can see with the geographic diversity of our data centers, we can provide a recovery location that is going to be able to ensure that your data is protected from any natural disaster, localized power failure, and is going to meet your auditing requirements. So what exactly does TierPoint do? We work with our customers to help them meet their IT and business goals with our flexible and secure solutions. Whether you're going to be focused on disaster recovery or data protection, or running critical workloads in the cloud, we have solutions to support your environment, from multi-tenant and hosted private clouds to AWS and Azure. And if you're using IBM Power or mainframes, we provide both production and DR services on those platforms as well. We also integrate security services into any of our managed security solutions, and our team offers consulting and planning support, including help with business impact analysis to strengthen your DR strategy. David had mentioned the constant cyber threats that are out there and causing everyone issues. Having a multi-layered cybersecurity solution is going to be critical in securing your environment from ransomware. Modern data resilience plans need to be able to protect you from a number of different issues, and the protection needs to happen in different levels. Having properly configured and updated security elements like firewalls, IDS, IPS, endpoint protection, proper access controls, and employee training are the front line for preventing ransomware from getting into your environment. Having this solid security infrastructure in place can help stop ransomware from getting into your environment, but we all know that the bad actors are out there and they're going to keep finding new ways to access your data. Because of this, we also need to have a reactive phase in case or when we get hit with ransomware. Ensuring that your backups are encrypted and running on immutable storage, having an off-site copy of your data, and proven and tested DR program in place will allow you to recover quickly in the event of a ransomware attack. And when ransomware does affect your environment, having proper tools like SIM and source systems help us to be able to determine what happened and respond and remediate as quickly as possible. To help our customers secure their environments and have a deeper view into what is happening, TierPoint has just released our new Adapt Managed Detection and Response solution, which is a fully managed service operated by our SOC team. This is going to further help our customers protect their environment. It runs 24/7, 365 to monitor and triage alerts, ingesting and correlating data across your entire IT ecosystem. The platform applies AI and machine learning for faster and more accurate threat detection and prioritization. We automate the response actions through integrated SOAR workflows, while our SOC team delivers real-time dashboards and reporting in a single portal. The service continually improves through a combination of human tuning and proprietary threat intelligence. And when needed, our SOC analysts provide hands-on remediation and recovery, moving from detection to response to restoration, so threats are contained quickly and operations are brought back online. When you're hit with ransomware, minimizing downtime is critical for all of our customers. They just can't rely on the extended downtimes that it takes to recover from traditional backups. As you can see here, all of our solutions are built on enterprise-class hardware. The disaster recovery targets can be one of TierPoint's multi-tenant cloud pods, a hosted private cloud solution, or we can utilize a public cloud target. We're going to work with you to determine which of those solutions would be the best fit for your particular environment. One of the key elements that David discussed was the ability to detect potential ransomware in your data. Using the real-time encryption detection in Zerto 10, TierPoint will alert you of any potential ransomware in the data that's being replicated. Our solution is going to be providing an industry-leading SLA recovery time of 10 VMs being recovered every 15 minutes. This ensures that your environment will be up and operational as quickly as possible. The service that we provide is going to be a subscription-based service and includes all of the Zerto licensing, compute requirements for the environment, target storage based on the journal sizing, replication bandwidth, and we have two options for management. We offer a self-managed option for customers who want to manage their recoveries internally, and a fully managed option where TierPoint personnel will take care of the recovery for you, and that way your IT teams can focus on getting the production environment back up and running. And lastly, testing is going to be a key component of any successful disaster recovery program. Testing at least annually allows you to be sure that you're protected against any potential disaster and ensures that if you are hit with a ransomware attack, you can recover quickly. All of the DR solutions at TierPoint include annual testing hours to ensure that your environment is properly protected. And after testing, you'll receive an attestation of the test that can be provided to your auditors as proof of the successful test. All of this leads us into why companies are looking to disaster recovery and backup solution providers like TierPoint. The DR teams at TierPoint are focused on disaster recovery solutions and recovering our customers' environments. This is going to allow your IT staff to focus on getting your production environment back up and operating as quickly as possible during a disaster event or a ransomware event. Using a DR provider like TierPoint ensures that you will always have the technical expertise watching over your DR environment 24/7, 365. By utilizing cloud-based services, and that's whether they're going to be a dedicated private cloud resource, a shared resource within a TierPoint data center, or a hyperscale cloud solution, you can ensure that you're getting a cost-effective solution that is protecting your business and is backed with an SLA to guarantee your speedy recovery. When you pick a partner for your disaster recovery solution, you want to make sure that you're going to be choosing the right provider. TierPoint has worked closely with HPE for many years, and we have been the Managed Service Partner of the Year for the last 5 years and have helped many companies in various industries with their solution. If your organization prioritizes high performance, low latency, and strong cybersecurity, you're not alone. That's exactly where JW Software found themselves. They were especially concerned about ensuring their clients' data protection and ensuring that they'd be able to be uninterrupted during a DR event. And this is exactly where TierPoint's Disaster Recovery as a Service powered by HP Zerto came into play. With our solution, they were able to strengthen their cybersecurity and ensure continuity of access to the critical systems. And because the service includes regular updates, proactive auditing, and advanced threat detection, they are now operating with more confidence, knowing that in the event of a disaster, they have a tested solution they can fall back on. As the CISO stated, they treat it as a set it and forget it type of function. If your team is juggling similar challenges, this is the kind of operational peace of mind that we aim to deliver. If you'd like to learn more about TierPoint's disaster recovery solution powered by HP Zerto and how we can help enhance your data protection strategy, you can visit us on the web at www.tierpoint.com. You'll be able to review our products and services, and you'll be able to chat with one of our solutions advisors. You can also call us at 877-859-8437. When you reach out, one of our experts will discuss your company's business requirements and we'll discuss the different services that we can offer, and they'll also share some industry trends that we're seeing across TierPoint. Then they'll work with you to set up next steps to ensure that we can help you achieve your goals. And that's going to be it from us today. Both David and I would like to thank everyone for joining, and I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.